The time to push has arrived. Ferrari must change pace in the 2025 Formula One Championship and must do so quickly. Updates are needed in order to correct certain situations and unlock performance. A step to get closer to the performance of the impressive McLaren MCL39 single-seater and consequently be able to at least fight over the course of the race weekend, with the ambition to contest podiums and victories against the historic Woking team. The same applies to the challenge against Red Bull and Mercedes. Ferrari is preparing for Imola. We are talking about a substantial aerodynamic update package that will be introduced by the Maranello technicians and engineers in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which needs a thorough assessment. In the next month, there will be two important turning points. One of these is undoubtedly the Spanish Grand Prix, where the new restrictions regarding flexible wings will come into force, a factor that we will delve into in due time, an aspect that could further compact the group and cause McLaren to take a step back. An FIA measure that could restrict the very wide operating window of the English car. At the Imola circuit, both the Red Team and Red Bull will bring many innovations to address the deficiencies of their respective cars. As for Ferrari, the updates will not arrive in Miami considering the fact that the Florida weekend will take place based on the sprint format, which foresees only one free practice session, far too short for the Italian side to be able to verify and confirm the validity of the modifications. On the other hand, we know how complicated it is to validate aerodynamic updates on track. A careful process that must take into account many factors, some of which cannot be reproduced in the wind tunnel. Therefore, it is about moving from subjective judgment to the objective judgment of the track through data collection that can confirm or not the quality of the work done. But let's get to the point, focusing on what the Ferrari engineers and technicians will bring in two Grands Prix at the Imola circuit. From the information gathered so far, the first update for Ferrari will be concentrated in the sidepod area, where we should observe a slimming down. An update that should be part of the plans already foreseen and planned during the winter period. Therefore, we are talking about a natural development of the car over the months. In terms of top speed, the SF-25 single-seater is not bad at all, but obviously more quality is needed in this crucial aspect too, to be able to keep up with the evolution of other cars and further improve. Moreover, it has been learned that a further modification to the floor is coming. This does not automatically mean that the last version should be discarded, but it is clear that some corrections are necessary. After all, we are talking about a crucial macro component for the correct functioning of the SF-25 car, a nerve center for ground effect cars where the SF-25 has shown too much sensitivity across the vehicle's different operating ranges. This element often does not work as it should and does not provide all the expected points of downforce, another issue that Ferrari must improve because the total amount of downforce is lower compared to the rest of the top teams. Driving instability must be addressed, a problem that has been bothering Ferrari's drivers. It is especially affecting Lewis Hamilton, who just cannot find clear adaptation to this condition. Charles Leclerc himself spoke about it in front of microphones, stating that the overall vertical load of the Italian car has a deficit that must be filled aerodynamically, and it is precisely on this aspect that the Monegasque driver focuses, convinced that by reaching the level of load of McLaren and Red Bull, the gap in terms of pace will be closed. And in fact, in Formula One, it is very important to be able to free oneself from the various problems that limit the car, especially when it comes to the car's pure pace. The opportunities are there, nothing is yet lost for the 2025 Formula One racing campaign. Through the floor, greater and better distributed downforce must be found. The first version introduced at the Bahrain International Circuit helped in this sense, but it is not enough, as was seen at the 6.174-kilometer Jeddah-Corniche circuit last weekend in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Ferrari also has some strong points, moreover confirmed by Charles Leclerc, such as the tire degradation management of the SF-25, a characteristic inherited from its predecessor. An aspect that remained hidden in the early races of the 2025 Formula One season due to the forced extreme setups. However, also regarding this tire factor, improvement is needed in the thermal cycle, namely the warm-up process, especially on a flying lap. A step forward in qualifying sessions is required, since we have seen how important it is to start ahead, considering that overtaking phases are often complicated due to turbulent air. The historic Italian team is playing a big part of its future in May. We await to understand what will happen in the next few weeks. The last news of this video is for now just a hypothesis, on which we will have certainties only next week. It seems that the Maranello team is evaluating the possibility of further delaying the aerodynamic update package for two reasons: to have more time to study it, and at the same time to be able to test it directly at the Circuit de Catalunya Barcelona in Spain, where the new technical directive could significantly change the balance seen in this start of the championship. Ferrari team principal Frederic Vasseur is sure that his side has all the ingredients this year to be successful, but he suggested that the Maranello-based outfit has not been able to extract the maximum from its SF-25. On the back of another tough weekend for Lewis Hamilton in Saudi Arabia, the French manager claims that the seven-time F1 champion's experience will help the Italian side make inroads in the closely matched fight in 2025. Although Charles Leclerc had a similarly rocky start to his season, the Monegasque sacrificed the practice day at the Japanese Grand Prix for trying out a series of setup directions. The Monegasque has been seemingly much more comfortable in his car since then, and he displayed a promising race pace in Bahrain before grabbing his first and Ferrari's first podium finish in 2025 in last Sunday's race in Jeddah. Asked whether the Maranello team has all the ingredients this year to be successful, the Ferrari team boss insisted that he is sure that the Maranello-based outfit's SF-25 can be competitive, but they have not been able to extract the maximum from the car yet. Frederic Vasseur explained that all the ingredients were there, but compared the situation to cooking, where it was necessary to combine the ingredients at the right stage. He admitted he did not feel that Ferrari had extracted the best from the car so far, except perhaps on some occasions or in certain sessions. However, he pointed out that this was true not only for Ferrari, but also for other teams. The French manager noted that even McLaren, despite the step forward they had made compared to the rest of the grid, sometimes had one car struggling more than the other. Frederic Vasseur remarked that this was simply the reality of the situation, recalling that a few years ago, it was possible to go through Q1 with a set of mediums, do just one lap, and comfortably make it into Q2. Reflecting on how close the current F1 field is, the Ferrari team boss insisted that nowadays even the top teams sometimes had to use two sets of softs. He emphasized that the field was extremely tight, and any mistake could cost 5 or 6 positions. According to him, the external reaction often treated such drops as dramatic, but he stressed that from their side, they were more focused on pure performance, and that losing 0.05 of a second was not a drama. The Frenchman underlined the need to stay calm during analysis if the team wanted to improve, and recalled that one of Ferrari's strengths last year had been the ability to capitalize on hundredths of a second, and expressed hope that they would continue along the same path this year.